Well, you are in Israel right now, and so thank you for joining us through this incredible medium called technology. But my first question to you is, you've been an advocate of the Jewish people, and as I said already, an influential voice combating anti-Semitism through your role as president of IFCJ, which stands for the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. So tell us about your connection with this organization, and what is the focus of IFCJ Canada?
Well, the truth is, it's really easy being an advocate for Jewish-Christian relations and support for Israel and fighting anti-Semitism when we have so many millions of Christian friends around the world and in Canada who are so fearlessly, might I say, during these crazy days, standing with such a strong voice together with their brothers and sisters in Israel and the Jewish community around the world. So the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is a global organization with offices in Chicago, Korea, Canada, and Jerusalem. And what we do is really focus on bridge building between Jewish and Christian communities around the world. And that love and support and connection manifests itself through feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, and taking part in biblical prophecy coming to fruition.
I just love that, because love is expressed in building bridges. And so
Yes.
you talk about building bridges between Christians and Jews. So why is this so important? And maybe can you share an example of the impact of your work in the last year?
Wow. Well, it's a great question. It's amazing days that we're in when you could say, why is this so important? And it shows how far that we've come after 2,000 years, like you pointed out, of animosity and hatred and fighting. Suddenly we have this new generation of Christians and Jews who are saying love is stronger than hate. And we have more in common than we do separating us. And so it was actually around 40 years ago when my father, Rabbi Yael Eckstein of blessed memory, when he heard from friends like Pat Robertson and Pat Boone and Jack Hayford, when they said, we love Israel and the Jewish people. We stand with Israel and the Jewish people. We pray for Israel and the Jewish people. My father said, we have to do something with this because the Jewish people don't know that. And now 40 years later, in a way, being a Christian is synonymous with standing with Israel and the Jewish people. So just some amazing things over this past year out of 40 that I've seen is, for example, when the war in Ukraine broke out, the fellowship was the last flight out of Ukraine, bringing Jewish people home to Israel before the war, and the first flight after the war began, bringing Jewish people to Israel. We continue to, every single day, evacuate Holocaust survivors, orphans, children, bringing them out of the war zone and home to Israel. And with everything we do, we say, this is donated with love from Christians who love you. So it's just those tangible ways of both bringing biblical prophecy to fruition, saving lives, and breaking down these barriers of mistrust and hatred that have been built so high yet have been almost knocked down completely in the past 40 years.
Again, I think our stories will forever be entwined, because we both believe in a God who loves all people. And so I love that messaging, but I can imagine there's got to be some challenges. And so what are some of the challenges that you do face in this incredible pursuit?
It's a good question. And the truth is, I always try to focus on the light. And when you focus on those who stand with you and those who are supporting you and those who are a voice of love and support and light in this very dark world, especially relevant now as we enter the season of light, the holidays of light, of course, Christmas and Hanukkah. I think the more that I focus on what God is doing through us, that we've doubled our impact in the past 3 years at the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews globally, which means last year we helped over 2 million people in need. We have over 600,000 donors globally who stand with us, just sowing a seed, $25 a month, into this larger message of brotherhood and saving lives. So the truth is, of course, you can always look at the darkness, you can always look at the issues, but what I see is God moving through us in such a huge way that we're able to bring the light into the world that I think is so desperately needed.
I love that. I just feel better even talking to you today. So thank you. And as of course, light also can see into the future. So what excites you most about the future of ICFG Canada and what you're doing?
Well, I see the people of Canada really coming together. We just actually, for the first time in the history of the fellowship, we just brought our board of directors to Israel to tour the projects, to meet with government officials, even though we are totally non political. But we work with government officials in order to bring the humanitarian aid and to accommodate the Aliyah, bringing Jewish people to Israel. And what they saw on the ground, it was so moving for them to see the lives that were really changing and the impact that we're having in Israel and letting the people of Israel know in every way, Christians stand with you, you're not alone. But what was so impactful for me was to see how even just on our board of directors of Canada, of IFCJ Canada, we have Orthodox Jewish rabbis, we have very pious pastors and preachers, Christian, Jews, all different levels of worship, all different levels of personal identity of how they serve, and to see everyone coming together with a mission of feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, sheltering the poor. For me, that was the message. How good and pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in peace and in unity. So I see the future of IFCJ Canada just bringing on more of all different types of individuals from all different types of backgrounds who want to come together in goodness to give life, to give light, and to spread hope.
And I think that's the answer, isn't it? In a world that's full of darkness, the light is God's amazing love. And so for our viewers who are watching, I just hope that you can actively get involved in building bridges, partnering as we do this together. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a real pleasure having you on the show today.
Bill, it's been so wonderful. Thank you so much for hosting me. And happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and all of your viewers.
Have an amazing day.